Hey guys, McMillian here. And this episode of the Gurren Otaku Council contains spoilers for My Hero Academia World Heroes Mission. So please go and see the movie probably before viewing this, but if not, hey, you're welcome into the meeting anyway, and we'd love to have you. Talk to you guys soon.
What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the Gurren Otaku Council podcast. As always, I am Ace.
And I'm McMillian.
And today we have our first special episode. We'll be doing the review of the My Hero World's Mission movie. And also today is a double special episode because we have our first guest. Joining us today, we have Foop from the Blerd Mob. You can find the Blerd Mob on most audio podcast platforms. There we go. We have my boy Ryun. You can follow Ryun on Instagram at RyanMoore_. And then we also have my boy Ralph. And with that being said, council is now in session. Let the meeting begin. So how everybody doing today?
Pretty good. I like that introduction.
Lovely.
The council was in session. I'm
Excited
excited
to
to hear.
That's how we started over here. That's how we started over here.
Y'all
That's
fancy
good.
in this little podcast.
I'm done. All
Hey,
right.
you know, we gotta make it feel like a council meeting, you know?
So
We gotta come up here with the suit and the ties.
No, it's not that fancy. We're still filthy weebs, you know?
Just walk in here with some blurred with a Blerd Mob lapel pin on a suit.
I'm
Oh,
gonna walk
my.
up in here with the Tokyo Revengers suit on.
Real talk.
Ma'am, you will be shown the door. We do not promote child violence.
all right.
Well, if it's child violence, like within themselves, you know,
If
it's
the kids
different,
were,
right?
if the
I
kids were
guess.
that grown, it counts as adult violence in my eyes.
They ain't grown at all.
They
They
look
just look
grown.
They just congregate in large groups.
Okay. Well, anyways, as I was saying earlier, since this is you guys' first time being on the guest, we have a question to ask you all, and we'll start with Food. So, going in order, as I was saying,
Damn.
starting with Food. What is your favorite anime and why?
Alright, I'm not laughing at the question. I'm laughing because y'all put me on the spot. So, to make it known to everybody watching, I am a recently new anime watcher. I started watching anime like a year ago. But I've watched a few. I haven't watched as much as Ace and McMillian. But right now, at the moment, out of all the animes I've watched, I would have to say my favorite is... I'm going to go with Hunter x Hunter.
Okay.
Yep.
Do you have a reason
At the
why,
moment.
or is just that?
It's, I guess, the story minus the ant arc, you know.
Okay.
But I guess I like the vibe of Hunter x Hunter. I like the characters, the special abilities, the gradual. So you know how you have animes where you have characters that just, you know, they weak one moment and then boom, I'm super strong.
Yeah.
It's like with Gon, you follow him on the journey of him getting stronger,
Okay.
you know.
Okay. I can get jiggy with that.
So I liked it. I liked the theme song. I fuck with the theme song.
All right.
That's always good.
Moving on to the next person, Ryan. What is your favorite anime and why?
I hate that I came on an anime podcast with people who've been watching anime for almost as long, if not longer than me. And y'all say, what is my one favorite? Like, that isn't the hardest ass question
Okay,
to answer.
That's what I'm
what
saying.
is
No,
your-
no,
Hey,
no,
Nero,
ain't
no,
even watched that
no,
many.
Alex,
Okay, well, if you don't
no,
have a
Alex,
single favorite,
no,
then what
Alex,
is your...
nope. Don't explain yourself. You and me was up on Friday nights watching Tsunami. You know how it is. We was watching Naruto in 2005 when it first aired out here. You know it's hard to answer that question. But you know what? I'm gonna answer it. I don't have one favorite. Hunter x Hunter. I do love it though. I love the way it got. In my opinion, got the best power system. I love high fantasy. Berserk is my favorite dark fantasy, despite the horrible animations in the actual anime. If you watch the movies, read the manga, and look past the animations, great story, great action. And one that Alex put me on, which is also like top favorites, is like I think they're all tied for 3. Shield Hero, being stuck in like a video game esque world, and I'm starting to really get into isekais.
Okay,
So
okay.
I don't have a favorite, but if I had to say my 3 favorites, Hunter x Hunter, Shield Hero, and Berserk.
That works. That works just fine.
Granted, we didn't ask for all three, so we're saying Shield Hero for you. Moving on. Ralph.
Damn.
All right, as you were just saying, moving on. Ralph, your favorite anime and why?
I have to go with my OG favorite of Naruto because that's what got me started with anime in the beginning. You know, back in
Okay.
those days, it was pretty much One Piece or Naruto, and I would always catch Naruto at the right time. So, sorry,
All right,
One Piece
Oh, you a
fans.
basic
well, there
bitch.
you go.
But then you
No
mentioned
slander.
Naruto.
No slander. No slander.
What
Everyone
did
has
you
their
just call
taste.
him?
I
He
ain't
called
say
him a
nothing.
basic.
Damn, Ron.
As everyone listening can tell, we have some
Damn.
fools here on the council today.
Let me
They
ask you
might-
my
Right,
best
he trying to
behavior.
talk about Ralph. He didn't gave a full essay
Right.
answer. It was a short answer question, and my guy gave a whole essay.
Man, I done watched like 50 plus different animes. Come on now,
But that's
unfair.
not what they asked you.
That's unfair.
That's not what they
That's
asked
unfair.
you.
That's an unfair question.
Alright,
Well, all
alright,
right.
Joe,
Well,
buddy.
moving on to the movie review now. So this is how this is gonna go. We're gonna talk about what we liked about the movie, what we didn't like about the movie, certain topics from the movie that I had picked out, and then at the end we're going to rate the movie. So I'll let McMillian take us on from here.
Okay, so to start off, what I liked about the movie, I guess this is somewhat of a mixed one, but what I liked about the movie, the new costumes for our main heroes looked great. What I caveat is somewhat bleeds into what I didn't like. They only had them for about 5
Yeah.
like 5 minutes. But regardless, I thought the story that it told was really well composed. Rhodey Soul, being a new character, I think they gave him enough weight to be in this movie, which was really good. So the side characters didn't feel off at any point. And the main battle was really impressive and was really good. Especially, and I think all three heroes had most of our main characters had a very nice central fight, I think. Not all of them. I'll get into more when I say not all later, but for right now, yeah.
Okay. Who wants to go next?
The question is what exactly we liked about the movie.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Like just what we liked. I do agree with Jay because me and Jay watched it together, and I definitely said that the second it ended, like, why did they only wear the dope outfits for like the first 3 minutes of the freaking movie? And that's all we saw them wearing in the marketing campaign. But I did love it. I'm not going to complain. But what I liked about the movie, it was more My Hero. I didn't feel like they did anything too risky, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. I went to go see a My Hero movie, and it felt like I was just watching some more My Hero with a different storyline with different characters that I may not see in the canon. So I did like that about it. It was enjoyable, and I think the villain was cool. If anything, what I liked is that a lot of shows when they do radical groups, I know that that's normally a what I call it. That's a trope that you see in a lot of movies, a lot of series where they have like a radical group, whether it's religious or not.
Yeah.
I felt like this radical group, their purpose actually made sense to me. Like even though it's to a very extreme, I was like that actually makes a little bit of sense. I could see that could happen in real life if quirks are real.
Yeah.
So I actually enjoyed the preface. I enjoyed the radical group's background and what they stood for.
Okay.
I can go next.
All right.
What I liked about the movie, I guess I would have to agree with Ryan. It felt very My Hero. So they stayed within the theme of it instead of, oh, this is a movie, let's go out and do this big thing because it's a movie different from what we've been doing from the anime. I like the fights. I'm gonna have to agree with McMillian. The fight scenes, I really liked them. This man right here, you can't see it, but this man right here takes the crown. He takes the crown for the movie. Because when I saw that shit, we probably gonna talk about it later, but when I saw that shit, I was just like, because I guess this really I'm gonna put it like this. Every anime that I've watched, I've been able to pinpoint a single character or a couple and be like, I like you. You know, I fucks with you.
Mm-hmm.
I could never pinpoint a favorite character from My Hero. And it's weird. You might call it weird. You may call it unorthodox because it's hella kids. And outside of the kids, you got the top heroes.
Mm-hmm.
You got villains. But I could never pinpoint who I wanted my favorite character out of My Hero to be.
Okay.
And Bakugo took the cake for that shit.
All right.
I will also have to agree with McMillian the way that they went into the side characters. Rhodey Soul especially, because now we care about him and where does he fit into the story and how he tied in at the end. They actually made me care for him instead of let's just throw this guy in for the sake of the story, but just overshadow him with Deku or the main character. Like he's just here. But they actually made us feel for him. He fit in with the story. He fit in with the conflict and the resolution. So,
All right.
I just thought it was an overall good movie. I do have some things I didn't like about it, but going overall, this was pretty good. I enjoyed it.
All right. And then last we got Ralph.
What I liked about the movie was actually the side character. Because I like the fact that they didn't touch on the main character a whole lot and tried to pinpoint it around, just being about Deku. Pretty much what Portia said, just piggybacking off of her. Um, Rhodey Soul pretty much he had points to where it would like touch my heart, especially with the scenes about like his family, how he grew up, what happened to his dad. It
He's a soft.
Yeah, it touched me. It touched my soul. I felt it.
Okay.
Again, yeah, Kachan, that man, that's a bad man.
Not Kacha.
That's a bad man. That's a bad man.
I'm using the nickname.
That boy showed his ass.
Yes.
Let me tell you something.
But that fight scene, I thought he wasn't gonna make it. I was so scared. I really thought he wasn't gonna make it for a minute, but he pulled through. He took those gauntlets off and just that was just 10 out of 10 perfection.
All right. It looks like we lost Ryan here, but it's okay. Hopefully he'll be back.
Hopefully he'll join back.
But moving on now to what I liked about the movie, and let me see, we make sure we still recording. Yeah, okay, yeah, we still recording. All right. So moving on to what I liked about the movie, I have to agree with you guys about how they built up the side characters a lot, and basically, hold on, you're letting back in. I mentioned this before to McMillian, but My Hero does this really good job at building the emotions behind their big fight scenes, and that's what I think they did do a really good job with the movie as well, with building up Rhodey and why you should care about Rhodey, then leading to finding out that his dad was actually kidnapped the entire time, and then now you find out that maybe Rhodey shouldn't have been so hard on his father, and that he was actually not necessarily trying, he didn't want to be gone, but he got kidnapped. As well as the fight scenes, of course, were dope. And then another thing I did like about the movie is how they did not focus too much on the rest of the heroes. They kept it to the main three, which I thought they did a good job about. And so, yeah.
I want to disagree with you like this much. I
I'm
feel
focusing
like
on the other heroes.
No, on My Hero doing a good job of like building emotion before a fight. I want to like disagree this much, and I just want to say I feel like they only do that for the movies.
Well,
because to me, the big fights that have been happening in the anime, the only exception that I would put out is the All Might versus One for All fight. But the big fights that have happened in My Hero, I haven't felt for them as I felt for other fights in other animes. But I will say, in the movies, when it got down to the big fight, I did feel more for the characters in the movies than I did in the anime. So I don't know. To me, I don't know what it is between the anime and the movies where I just feel more in the movie than in the anime.
Okay,
I
that's interesting.
I damn.
I
I
kind
don't
of
know when she was talking, and I don't want to just agree with Portia. I don't want to just sit here and agree with her just because. But no, like not even trying to be like rude, but like when she was talking, I was like, hold on, what My Hero Academia fight did I just feel strongly about, or when it was getting to the fight, I felt like a sense of what would it be called, tension in the air. Not that. What's the, if I think against if I like with the build up. What fight did that for me? And I honestly couldn't think of one. I now argue,
I feel like they only do it for the movies.
and here's
Well,
the
I
thing.
can't.
so
Even if I look at the last movie, like the movie before this one, yeah, they
mhm.
definitely built that up well. Like if I'm excluding this movie to say did they only do it for the movies and comparing the previous one in the anime to the anime, I it's hard for me to disagree with her. At least if I'm
Okay,
comparing My Hero to other animes that have built
yeah.
up fights and
Hmm.
made me go, oh my gosh, I can't wait to see these two box.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I'm just saying by that. What I mean is like, so My Hero is not the most actionist anime out there, and so what they do to offset that is they try to put the stakes behind the fight in their animes. Like for example, the Deku versus oh well, I can't remember this guy's name right now.
That one with the bird beak when he was fighting with the
Yeah,
girl
him.
with the horn.
Deku
Oh,
versus him. They built up that emotion through. Why damn? Why I can't remember this little girl name either? But you know what I'm talking
Harry.
about.
Harry.
Thank you. They built up the
Yeah.
emotion behind every the whole situation with her as well as Nightwing. Not Nightwing. Is that man's name?
Night Eye.
Night
There
Eye.
we go. I don't know
Night
about
Eye.
Night
Come
Eye.
on,
This man
Alex, take a
bleeding
Night
breath.
into
Eye
DC.
getting hurt and everything as well.
He went to DC,
He a op.
Yeah, I went to DC.
but I guess
Uh huh.
I don't. Sure, but I feel like that whole debacle was weird because
I
when Deku first met Eri, it was like this slight curiosity for this child, and then it turned into this big ass thing,
Correct.
and then they started shoving the like they did go into her backstory, and they went into the whole beef with Night Eye and All Might, and so when he died or whatever, you felt for it, but even then, I don't. What happened there and how I felt in this movie is on two different sides of the spectrum for me.
now,
Okay.
not to conflate this point because we have to get back to the movie, but as the resident manga reader, I have to agree, but I also have to disagree because I think one thing that the anime sometimes gets wrong, and you probably have seen enough of this on like Twitter or other places where they discuss it. My Hero's animation, I think, sometimes lacks in those pivotal moments. One thing I could bring up, at least for the anime, when Lemillion lost his powers, they've switched it from fluid fighting to screenshots, and that was disrespectful. And I feel like that took away some of the emotion from it. So I agree that they actually do play on the emotional aspect of it, but I feel like due to the fact that the when they do that, a lot of times they lower the animation quality. You don't get the same type of feeling. Because, like for instance, with Hunter x Hunter, if I think of like my most emotional reaction to that, when Gon got so mad he became an adult, there was a whole bunch of animation dedicated to Gon's facial features, his body language, the moment you saw the anger in him change was exasperated. And in My Hero, unfortunately, I don't know like why they do it, but in the anime for the show, they bring down the quality sometimes of those moments, and I feel like that you lose the weight in that. But for the movies, they all the budget is there, so they never have to drop it down.
So I don't want to disagree with you, Jay, but would you say it's just the animation quality? Because
I
like when
mean,
I
if I
think of
compare it,
like if I think of like really dramatic animes, like for example, like real tear jerkers are animes that got my back shivering like shivering when I'm watching it. I'm thinking of like Bleach fights, like the way the soundtracks came in, or Berserk with some of their fights.
you
Although
know
they
what,
got the same,
I'll give
although
it.
they got the same sound producer, so
You know what, I was about to say. You know what, I'll also give it that. I don't think the music in those moments, at least for the anime, hit as hard either.
It's
So
the
it might be
same
both.
music too from My Hero.
Yeah.
It's the same music. They take that one score. They did it in the
Yeah,
movie.
they did.
They took that one score and they remixed it like 6 times in 6 different moments.
You know what? She is right.
Oh,
She is right. But I think it could be a combination of both things, though.
Okay.
I think it could be a combination of both things. But not to stay on this point for too long. I'm gonna just say that.
All right. Well, yes. To get back on topic here, we're gonna move on. So we're gonna talk about some stuff that we did not like about the movie. I think we already mentioned, some of them how we did not like about the movie. Like, for instance, the characters not wearing their new outfits only for what 5 minutes out of the movie at most.
5 minutes.
And
I've been hoodwinked. I've been bamboozled.
it was in every ad. It was in
That's
every
the
ad.
most-
of flyers.
That's the most threatening and badass Deku has ever looked.
I would definitely have to agree with that.
Ever.
That was that
At
right
least in the
there,
anime, because I know
that was a
somebody's talking
letdown
about
because as we just said before, it was all in the promotion and everything, and for them to only wear these new suits for like the very first 5 to 7 minutes of the movie is a letdown. Very
You've
much.
been hoodwinked, baby.
I just knew they was going to have it on during the entire movie.
Yes. I will say them 5 minutes went hard though.
They
Yes,
did.
that is true.
I'm upset, but I'm not upset at the same time because I'm upset because y'all only wore it once. But when I did see it, that whole entry sequence, they had me. They had me.
Oh yeah.
Perfection.
Yeah. So I guess
I was
we're just
locked
gonna
in.
go. Whoever wants to go first, of what y'all guys didn't like about the movie.
I would
I went first last time, so someone else go.
I would have to say the scene where Rhodey and Deku was traveling. I feel like that
There
wasn't
it go.
needed. I feel
That
like
was
that
the
wasn't
montage
needed.
scene.
I-
No, talk. Let him talk.
Listen.
Let him talk.
Listen.
Let him talk.
Wait.
Talk,
Let
Ralph.
my boys at home.
No.
Hold on,
Talk,
let
Ralph.
him finish. Let him finish.
There we go.
Because that scene didn't have to be as long. They literally made it that long so we can get the full song.
Mhm.
And at that point, I'm kind of like, okay, I'm ready for everything to start picking back up. It felt like it started to drag. Like it's been moments in My Hero Academia regular episodes where they'll be traveling places and they'll just cut straight to where they're going. Like instead of dragging it out, I feel like they just added that just to add it. Like, okay, we don't have anything here, so we're just gonna throw this song and have them
And
traverse.
we promised that nephew that we would put his song in the movie.
And
Find a song on SoundCloud.
and before Portia makes her point, Ralph, you're exactly right. That's the first thing that came to mind when Alex said, "What do we dislike?" I felt like the pacing switched a couple of times during the movie, and that one scene was so slow. I don't even know how long it lasted, but I started to fall asleep in the movie theater. Like I was like trying to wake up because I'm like, why? We went from all these nice action scenes. We get to see a little bit about Rhodey. Him and Deku are making a little bit of progress towards building their bond, and now it's like, why am I watching this? Like, okay, let them sit in the car and talk. Why am I watching this for like what felt like 20 minutes?
Right.
It felt forever.
It won 20
It
minutes. Y'all
felt
so
the
dramatic.
the pacing really switched up at that moment, and it threw me off.
Sounds like
I want to.
there you go.
Wait,
I wanna disagree.
before you go,
Please.
Okay.
before you go, I just want to get mine out real quick because it obviously matches, so I don't want to bring it up again. I do agree with Ralph and Ryan. I told Ace before he went to see this movie that there's only one part in the movie that I did not like overall, and it felt slow, and that was basically it. I've never seen a montage use such a slow song.
Yeah.
It really brought down, like, because I think it happens almost right after they get dedicated to making it to the new place, like after Deku fights that one dude in the helicopter, or that got out of the helicopter, and I'm just like, this is such a 180 in terms of like
Momentum
pacing
and everything.
and momentum. Yeah, because most montages they don't even play the full song; they'll like cut it. And this one, it felt like you were making me listen to a whole song. It probably wasn't actually, but they'd used enough of it to make me feel like it. And
But did you Shazam it?
No. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, whatever executive. I'm not listening to your son's music. I'm so sorry.
Hey,
He probably has an illustrious career ahead of him, but not in this movie.
I feel
You want to know what would have been funny? You want to know what would have been funny about that scene? So, if you guys ever listen to Lo-Fi and how they do that little insert at the bottom of whose song it is, that
And Portia, it made for a great lo-fi background too. Like that's exactly
They
what
did.
it
Yeah.
was.
looks like we only got one rebuttal to this scene here, Food. So what? How do you feel about that
I just
scene?
want to. Okay. I agree with you guys. It was a complete 180 from everything that we had seen to that moment, and I understand that you guys felt like it took too long and you wanted to get straight back to the point. But I feel like that part was necessary. Maybe not as long as it was, but I'm going to say this. With Rhodey's Soul being introduced as a new character, we haven't seen him before at all. And for what happens at the end, the connection between him and Deku, that is where that connection is established. Now, if they rip that part out of the movie, what you had, for me, I don't think I would have felt the same or cared the same about Deku and Rhodey's connection had that part not been in the movie.
Okay.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree. I think the montage was necessary. I don't want to say what I'm saying isn't necessary. I just think they could have scaled back some on it and used different music.
Correct.
That's the only.
True.
My thing is,
but I do think you are correct on the montage.
We watching these people go not off road. They all the way off road. These motherfuckers are in the mountains off road. Why? Why do we need to see this man pulling up the truck?
They on the run. They on the run, Alex.
But
Ace.
They out here playing Bonnie and Clyde. What you think they gonna go to the airport?
Right.
I mean, I feel you that it was too long. And McMillian is right. When they do montages in movies, they never play the whole song, but they gave us a whole music video. And I feel him. And I feel him. But I feel like the montage was necessary to establish the connection. Because I can hear it now. Had they took that piece out and we skipped to the movie where that whole big emotional part between Deku and Rhodey happened, y'all was gonna be like, I didn't really feel anything. They didn't even hang out that long. And I hear it.
I don't think they should have just pulled it out, but just shortened it. That's
it.
it.
Executed a lot better than that. Like they could have used a different type of music. They could have had flashing from different scenes of them talking, hugging, whatever they was doing up in that car.
They did though. They stopped at the store. Yeah. They was in the car.
And I like the store scene.
Yeah.
I don't know if I hold you. I like the store scene, but I mean, I'm gonna let Ryan finish, but I'm pretty sure
it just could have been executed better.
Just a little bit. Just a little.
It just could have been executed better.
I feel where y'all coming from, but that wasn't a big complaint for me for the movie.
Understandable.
Yeah.
Was there more from you, Ralph, or was that it? I'm sorry, we kind of ran with it.
It's all right. I would say another thing was the fact that Deku didn't use all of his powers at the end fight scene. Kind of felt like
he only got 2.
That's the thing. He didn't use the other power.
You mean the black whips?
Yeah, the black whip. I feel like if he would have used the black whip.
Well, to be fair though, in that situation, what were the black whips going to do?
Been the appropriate.
What were they going to do?
I was going to say that.
Well,
I don't think that was the appropriate power to use if you based on what the enemy had.
Well, when I think about it, he never attempted it, and I feel like he should at least have attempted it.
I mean,
because the thing was, he said, "I reflect." His power was like reflection, but it didn't say like it wasn't reflection against kinetic damage. Was it reflection against all things? Right. Was it like what exactly was the reflection against? Because basically what we saw was kinetic energy was what he was reflecting. Okay. And as far as we know, Black Whip is a whip. It don't necessarily. It could wrap around him, or at least at some point. But so I'll give you that because I didn't even think about that. But
And plus in
That
the
is a good point.
yeah, and plus in the movie, Deku was actually flying around like Spider-Man using his whip.
Oh yeah, I meant to say that in
Spider
my
Deku.
I meant to
Right.
say that in my likes section. I loved my Spider Academia.
Right, Spider
That
Deku.
was nice. That was nice.
So I just felt like he could have just used that in the fight. Honestly, that was
Okay, I mean, I get what
At
you're
least to
picking up.
traverse.
At least
to
just
traverse.
to
That's a
test
good
out
point.
the field.
I didn't even think about it.
But I guess I pick up what you're putting down. Just for me, I just don't think. I mean, it would have been any useful in that fight, though. But I see where you're coming from, though.
Did we technically get a dislike from Portia, or are you finna give it now?
I think she was even now.
Yeah.
I had one. I can go, but I had one more thing on Ralph's point about the Black Whip. I think he would have used the Black Whip had Deku, if Deku was a little bit more strategical.
Okay.
I think he
Yeah.
maybe could have found a way to use the Black Whip against the villain, but as we see Deku, he's very offensive
Mm-hmm.
and he's very confrontational. So, and Black Whip is more long range. Let me think about this
Yeah.
type attack.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it also fits
that's
his
why,
character. Yeah.
right. So that's why I feel like he didn't think about it because they're on a time crunch to stop these bombs. His first mind is like, not let me think about it and use
Punch.
the Black Whip. Like I'm about to
Punch.
bust your shit was basically what he had going in the room. But the things that I didn't like about the movie, I guess the ending fight. I feel like they dragged that. They dragged that on.
Are we talking about all the ending
And-
fights?
Or just specifically the Deku in the fight.
Yeah.
That is a very good question. I'm talking about Deku versus
Fletch.
the Blue
Okay.
Man group. I forgot his name.
Fletch. Yeah.
It don't matter no more.
Hold
It's the Blue Man Group.
on. Hold on. Hashtag
It
that.
don't matter no more.
Hashtag
But
that.
I'm glad that you brought the other two fights up because I feel like Todoroki and Deku's fight seemed very unrealistic to me. The only fight that I feel like was fair and decent was Bakugo's. Todoroki should have drowned.
Yeah.
Number one. He should have drowned. And Deku, we know why Deku run. Main MC, plot armor. And I feel like Deku's fight, I guess we're calling him the Blue Man Group. You're welcome. Deku's fight against the Blue Man Group was very extended. And it annoyed me because Deku, at this point, Deku knows how this man powers work.
Mhm.
And he just keeps doing the same thing. Like over and over again. And we're just watching him punch and kick. And it's like, okay, Deku, you're going to have to do something else.
Yeah.
But they're trying to extend it to make this big dramatic thing because everybody's out here trying to stop these bombs. Brody ass bleeding out in the basement. And I'm just like, okay, y'all have to give me something else. And then they finally got to it. It's like, okay, his power's wearing out. Now I got him. And then they go into Deku's whole speech about, you gave up. You didn't try to do this. This is why we're heroes. I was like, okay, my God.
To add on to
Okay.
that, I would have to say, out of us watching Deku through 5 seasons, this man is very tactical, regardless of whatever time he's had on the clock. Even when Class A, Class B went against each other, he had to work against a clock. So
While I don't disagree, if I could add something to that point, well, I slightly disagree, I should say. While I do think Deku is a pretty good tactical thinker when given the opportunity, it's just unfortunately a lot of times that is when he already knows people's quirks.
Correct.
There we
Right.
go. Deku,
Exactly,
Deku writes
because
in
the
his
class-
notebook and learn about
Because the
everybody.
Class A versus Class B, they knew these people.
Correct.
They knew how they worked.
So
they
he could-
did get
so he
some
could strategize for
upgrades,
them.
but you knew the basics.
Because if you
But-
think back to any time he has to fight against a person who he doesn't know whose quirk he's at, and if it's by himself especially, he freaks out.
Yeah.
Like
He hits the spam button.
Yeah,
Right.
his solution to muscle. I don't know the guy's name, but it was the muscle dude or whatever it was. Even though my arm, they legit told me not to do this no more. I'm just going to hit him harder.
Yeah.
Was his solution?
Like
Yeah.
instinctively, in my
Yes.
opinion, Bakugo is probably more on the field during mid combat tactician.
He is.
Deku, he has to plan
Bakugo definitely
ahead.
has
That's
better
not
battle tips than
bad.
Deku. 100%.
Yeah, that doesn't make Deku bad at it, but he definitely requires a lot more preparation in comparison to somebody like Bakugo.
Correct. And I'm going to butt in
Yeah.
on this one
Mhm.
for a little bit because this is also one of my dislikes. I would have to agree with you, Food, that about the Deku versus Fletch fight. I like the whole first half of it is just like, what are we doing here? And then,
Like he wasn't trying to figure out the man weaknesses or nothing.
yeah,
You just punching
it
him.
was just like, what are we doing here? I was like, okay, well, at least, Bakugo, he's actually over there boxing. Todoroki, I'm going to get on to him later. He over there doing his thing. And
They
Deku, he
hold
just
my
sitting
boy.
here, like you said, he's just doing the same thing over and over and over again. I'm like, okay, you got to do something different, Deku. Like, come on now. Like, you see whatever you're doing ain't working. And then McMillian already knows this. I don't like the power of friendship. And that's what it felt like was building up at the end versus the Deku versus
That
Fletch
man
fight.
started pulling up them screens with his friends.
There you go, right there.
and all
They
this
start
other
they
stuff.
start pulling up the screens with all his friends and stuff. And he start naming them one by one. Why?
I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. When they switched to Ochaka, I was like, "Can we see her fight? She'd be interesting."
That's what I'm.
Because unlike like Pope said, this man just hit the spam button, and a lot of the times with the side characters, this is something I actually appreciate about My Hero is that when they do give the side characters time to shine, we actually get to see how different their fighting styles are. And unfortunately, with this movie at the end, after a while, I'm not even gonna lie, I like Blue Man Group versus Deku for the first half. After a while, though, it's like, okay, my dude, like, you not gonna try air blast? No, you not gonna throw up the whip? No, okay. So that was one of my dislikes. Also, they hold my boy Todoroki, but
yeah, we're gonna
we'll
get to that
later.
So we'll let you continue now.
Yeah. It was really just the ending that I disliked, and I don't know. That's pretty much what turned me off. I was in it to win it until the end.
Okay. All right, Ron, what you got? What did you not like about the movie?
Oh, I was one of the first ones. I didn't like that
Was you?
slow ass montage.
Okay, well, I mean, you butted
Oh,
in.
was there
on
anything
that,
more?
but
I think
is
you
there-
wanted
yeah,
to know
is there
anything
anything more other than the montage that you did not like?
In terms of extras, the fight was long. I don't disagree with that. Talked about the outfits. Well, you know what? You guys said that y'all liked that they focused on these three heroes. Um, Even though I do like Todoroki, Todoroki is actually one of my favorite characters in My Hero. I would have enjoyed to see the other heroes, especially since they're basically spread across the world. I guess I would love to see more moments of their fights, especially if we're taking into consideration that we all thought that the Blue Man group fight was really long. Some of that time definitely could have been allotted for everybody else. Just
It
to get
could
like a
have. I
few
would agree
flashes
with
of
that.
it or a few more flashes of everybody
I would
else's
agree
fights.
with that.
I would have liked to see them.
I think
I I like I feel like My Hero does a good job at making interesting side characters. For them to have so many, and a lot of them actually care about, think about a little bit. I would have enjoyed to see them a little bit more.
Okay.
I agree with that, and this is my developing problem with My Hero is that it's no longer becoming. For me, it's no longer becoming, let's follow all of these characters. It's basically, this is the Deku, Todoroki, and Bakugo show. It's what it feels like it's turning into for me.
Yeah.
And it's no longer My Hero Academia, it's Deku and Friends.
Deku.
Or as the original title of this movie, My Hero: Three Musketeers.
Exactly. And the anime was going in that direction, and the movie definitely went in that direction. And I feel like they just showed the side characters because
They exist.
they had to.
Okay.
They had to show them.
Yeah, I agree. So, well, some more things that I did not dislike that I did dislike about the movie rather was I don't like the way how they handled Todoroki in this movie.
They hold my boy.
Yeah, they basically hold him like from beginning to end. Like he got to do some flashy stuff at the beginning of the movie. He got to do some flashy stuff in the entrance when they were going to the final fight. But then basically his whole final fight, it was really just nothing though.
Him underwater.
Basically, him underwater, as she mentioned, he probably should have died there.
He should be.
He should be dead.
Since it's a movie, we all know that that's not going to happen. But Todoroki's fight just didn't.
What do you mean?
Well, since
can't kill off
they
one of the
shot children with lasers.
They can't kill off one of the Three Musketeers, though.
But they're not gonna kill one of the main characters.
In a movie, at least in a movie.
At least. Yeah. So his whole fight just felt like it. At this point, like we could have just not even had his fight. At this point, that's how I felt. At the seeing it, it's just like why we could have just not even had him. He could have just been out helping Bakugo at this point. To be honest with you. Or Bakugo and Todoroki's fight could have just been one whole big thing instead of just trying to split them up into two. And so, yeah, I don't like about that. I didn't like that. And then too, the last thing I did not like about the movie is when they revealed that they was going to set all the bombs off. I just felt it was stupid. He was like, okay, all the bombs going to go off in 2 hours, but don't worry though, I'm going to give y'all the chance. Here are all the bombs. Excuse me, because I mean, if that had been me, motherfuckers, y'all just go find them good luck.
Riddle me this.
Well, wasn't the goal to have all of the strong heroes near the bomb so that their powers could like?
Yeah,
I guess.
But I mean, but they still would have been in the area anyway.
They still would have been in the general area anyways. But that, not to bring that up, that probably was his intended goal, though. Like you said, to get all those to get all those heroes in the exact area where he wanted them to be, but still.
No, that was his goal.
Yeah, he said in the movie.
But they were gonna lose. They were going to lose regardless.
Yeah.
Listen.
I think it was that and confidence. I don't think I think it was that and also to show his character was. I'm very confident.
Like I said, had that been
arrogance.
Me,
I wouldn't call it confidence. I call it arrogance.
Sorry. Arrogance. That's technically what I meant.
He didn't realize he was fighting against plot armor. It's okay.
Okay. All right, everyone kind of went through most of my dislikes. The only one that we haven't touched, and this is somewhat comical. Why didn't my boy Rhodey get saved at the end? And by that I mean, why did they leave him there with his two siblings and not give this man a job, no stipend, nothing? He went and saved the world.
Okay, wait.
And they just left him.
No. Let him finish.
They left him by his lonesome, and I thought this was so funny because earlier in the movie, Rhodey was like, heroes, they just come in here and do whatever they want, and I was like, by the end of this movie, what did y'all do?
That man did a job at a bar.
He did have a job at the end of the movie. Was it a good one?
We don't know.
I mean, it wasn't him selling jewels to villain. I think it was him. I think it was this is his redemption tour. Because now
I just feel like UA owe that man a stipend.
Here, Rhodey, eat this.
They gave him a job. He working at a new bar.
He working at the same bar. He has an honest job now, which is what he said he wanted in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
He's a server.
I just feel like
because when they found out his dad was working for the villain group, they wouldn't let him get a decent job, which is how he ended up.
Yeah. This is slightly a nitpick because he is a movie only character. I know they couldn't necessarily do anything with him, but I just feel like UA should have been like, "Hey, boy, we have something for you. You help save the world."
You are expecting so much from the institution that sends children to die.
I mean, but they at least give medals and they pay people. Like something, I don't know. This is just a nitpick, though. That's
okay. All right.
I feel you.
Well, all right. Well, moving on from dislikes now, I have a more general question. So, the group Humarise, that it was a terrorist group featured in this My Hero movie. How did you guys feel about them? Do you feel like they was a believable group? Did you not like them? Do you think they could have did something else? How did you guys feel about Humarise?
Wait, hold on. And to add to that. I'm sorry. And to add to that, do you think if you lived in this world, quirkless or not, do you think you'd be a part of this group?
So, here's the reason I think it was realistic. Because one thing that they did touch on, I can't remember which season. I think it was the season where they did introduce the bird beak dude. where not introduced, but like that season where it ended with his fight. They did talk about how this new generation of kids, they got all these complex quirks, and Todoroki is basically the child who was planned to to combine quirks. In all honesty, if this was the real world and you got scientists who predicting the future, if we had Elon Musk in the My Hero Academia world, he's definitely going to sit here and say, we got someone who can control fire, water, air, and earth. Let's make two of these folks produce offsprings, and we can have the Avatar by generation 3. At some point, that is going to become very dangerous, especially with kids. Just look at how dangerous Deku's powers are. Now, his power is different, but the fact that it incorporates other people's powers, seeing how that can just impact him, seeing how they plan to make a Todoroki. His father purposely made Todoroki a fire ice character. I felt like that group was believable. Like, these quirks are going to curse us and F us up in the future as generations pass by. I felt like that radical groups are usually hard to believe in and trust, but in my opinion, this one made sense to me.
Okay, sounds like Ryan would join Humarise. All right.
So would you join them or would you be against them?
If you think of it,
It depends on if I like my quirk or not.
Okay.
If I like my quirk,
I already knew what he was
I knew it too.
If I like my quirk, like if I feel good about myself, nah.
Here we go. So yeah, so basically what Ryan's saying is if he got an OP quirk, then no, y'all can't do this because he want to keep his quirk.
If you were quirkless, would you join?
Probably.
Yeah, because he petty. He gonna be upset.
Yeah, where my quirk at? Like, y'all motherfuckers got superpowers.
Yeah, he gonna...
Imagine...
Yeah, he gonna be real bitter, and he gonna join Humarise.
F them, ruining the world.
Okay.
Putting all that O2 in the what? No, not O2. All this carbon monoxide and shit into the air. Global warming. Y'all fucking up the earth.
Boy, we doing that by ourselves without the suit, without the quirk.
We'll go to you next.
I wanted to go.
Wow.
Oh, wait. My bad. Who did we say next? I didn't hear. Oh, I missed that whole thing. I thought you just said who gonna go next, and I was like, I want to go. My bad. You go ahead, Ralph.
Oh my goodness.
I'm sorry.
I would have to say no with a caveat, because if I wake up one morning about to go to work and my car crashed outside, I'm gonna be pissed. Then I'm gonna go join them.
That's it. He joined me Humarise. That's the
Cause it's like, you know how they have memes about, oh, I live in Gotham and my house fucked up or my car fucked up kind of shit. That's how I would view if I lived in that world. I would say no.
Until Endeavor threw his car at the villain.
Right. So I would have to say no with a caveat.
Okay. How do you like the group? Do you think they were they a likable group? Do you think they'd be a real?
Else? I feel like they gave me Hitler vibes. Not very Nazi vibes.
100%.
They definitely gave me Nazi vibes. That means Ryan might be a Nazi on the secret.
See, and all this we gotta watch him.
I'm not a Nazi.
It's too late. Nope. Yeah, out.
I'm not a Nazi.
All right. Well, now Food, you can go.
My bad. I want to start with the first question. Did I find the group believable? Yes and no.
Okay.
Yes, because of the central idea that they blame quirks for all the stuff that have been, happening in the world, all these threats and all this death. And I feel them on that. Because that's the central idea for any villain who has it out for a superpowered group. I can't find them believable because of their leader's motivation. So at the end of the movie, you find out that his big beef, like, we get into the meat and potatoes, and he's just mad that he got rejected, that he couldn't make any friends. Everybody made fun of him because he was blue. He couldn't advance his powers. And I was like, this is some bullshit. So you set off all these bombs in all these cities because you couldn't make any friends?
Do you know why Hitler started the Nazi group?
He couldn't make any friends either?
Basically.
He didn't look
yeah.
like the people that were
He was
seen
a
as the
very
most beautiful, so he wanted to
beautiful.
kill
Yeah.
everybody that looked like him.
Hmm
He said
And see,
that
and
like that's
okay,
actually what
I
makes
agree
it
with
super
Ralph.
realistic.
Okay, realistic because if we go in the Hitler analogy, sure, but I don't know. Now I feel like my point is invalid.
I mean, like that's
At
the
least-
funniest thing
At
about
least I
it.
guess you could admit it.
I mean, I guess that's where I'm coming from. I think it would have been fuck. Look, second question. Second question. What would I join? And I don't know. I may if I had a quirk, I'm gonna go Ryan's route. If I had a quirk.
That's my friend.
Nah.
That's my best friend.
Forget if I had a quirk, I'm not joining y'all. But if I didn't have a quirk, I don't think I would join them. I think I would just be in the middle. And, I'ma just...
It is what it is.
It's... And I don't know, maybe I would join... Because, you know how they say, like, not making a choice is making a choice.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if push came to shove, I would side with the people with the quirks. Because even though they out here throwing, people cars and still got payments on it, they are protecting the well-being of the people who live in that world. Because of the circumstances that we live in, they are protecting us from it. And then you have people like, the thing that really caught me at the beginning of the movie is that when they did the test run of the bomb, they were affecting people with quirks who weren't even heroes. Like, these are normal people that you wouldn't know that they had a quirk until they started cutting the fuck up because they had this bomb gas or whatever on them. So, looking at the smaller community of people with quirks, I wouldn't join because it's like, I get that you're trying to hurt the hero culture as a whole, but what about the people who didn't choose to get quirks or didn't choose to, to have that lifestyle? Now I'm just blown up on the street because my daddy who can fly gave me the genes to fly. So that's my long-winded answer.
Okay.
Y'all really got me with that Hitler shit. That's...
I thought you knew that. Like,
I mean,
he hated himself. That was pretty much it.
Yeah.
I guess, you know what? I did know that. And you want to know why I did know that? Because it's the same thing in Harry Potter. Same thing. Same exact thing.
That's what makes it believable, right?
To touch on the question, do I find the group believable? Yes, because petty people will do petty things because they're petty. And this is probably like the ultimate petty. Yeah. Like, he couldn't hug somebody. I'm going to enact genocide. You are insane, sir. Insane. There are people that look like a foot, like a full foot, and they ain't out here causing genocide. I don't understand in the My Hero world. But I do think it's believable because, well, I mean, we already said it. In history, stuff like that has happened, and people, petty people do petty things. If I had a quirk, I probably wouldn't join, simply because I feel like 90% of the people I care about probably have quirks, and at the end of the day, I probably couldn't, get over that fact that I would be supporting the death of 90 of the people I care about. And then if I was quirkless, I don't know, my life had to be really bad, I feel like, to hate to do that. Like, I'd have to be getting bad. Like, my car would have to be thrown by heroes. My house would have to be destroyed by villains. My girl would have had to been taken by like a superhero person. Like, my life would have to be down horrendous.
Down bad.
What if All Might smashed the hero? The hero ran through a building. A brick fell on your little sister and killed her or something. Would that make you join?
Then
That's
very
detailed.
detailed.
I mean,
like, why would you?
Y'all never just think like, come on now.
Then I would be a part.
These are one of those intrusive thoughts you should have kept to yourself.
So these heroes blowing through buildings. It's just such a stretch to say a brick could fall on my loved one. Come on now and kill them.
I mean, it's not. But
I'm not saying that.
Loved one. You targeted the man's little sister.
Okay.
Right.
Anybody, any loved one.
Well, hold on. Okay, well, if that's maybe, but I think I don't know if I take it that far or if I just become the My Hero version of the boys.
I was gonna bring that up.
Like
I was gonna bring that up.
I don't think I'd have to go that far. Yeah, I was about to say I don't think I'd have to go that far, but I'd probably become the My Hero version of the boys, where I'd be like, heroes are terrible. I'd probably become Stain.
Yeah,
if anything,
that's
like I don't think I'd become a terrorist, but I'd probably be. Well, no, Stain technically was a terrorist. I don't think I'd become a genocidal maniac. I'd just become Stain.
Okay. Well, it's for me. Well, yes, I do think it is believable. I think they hit, the nail right on the head right there with this one. As far as the doomsday theory, whether their theory may or may not have been, disproven or not, it is actual a theory that you can, if you read it, you probably think, this maybe has somewhat truth to it. Because, as Ryan said earlier, that this is a topic they already touched up on in the anime. And we already seen an example of, quirks getting stronger and mixing together with Todoroki himself. So, it's a theory that is very believable. As far as would I join them? If I was quirkless, no. I'm just straight up. I'm staying in my lane. Because if I ain't got no quirk, what do I look like fighting against people with quirks? No. You can count me out of that. If I do have a quirk, I guess... Probably still no, but I guess it'll all depend. Like, am I a hero? Am I a Stain type person? Am I a villain? Am I just a normal person with a quirk? Like, but probably still no, though, regardless.
I don't know. Like, this whole joining the group type thing, this is like defining a thin line between hero and villain.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. There is. That's
so it doesn't necessarily, joining this group doesn't necessarily mean you're a hero or a villain.
Correct.
This is going straight off what you believe in.
Correct.
And the hero and the villain could believe the same thing and hop on board. Like, I don't F with you, but we're on one accord.
Yeah, we both believe in this, this little situation we got going on right here. So, all right. A few more. Well, I had a few more times, but McMillian, was there anything you wanted to bring up before I continue?
No, I think that's about it. I mean, the only thing I think that we haven't done, but if you have more topics, is that we haven't rated. I don't think we've all given like a rating out of 10.
Yeah, no, the rating's gonna come. So another topic I had was there was a lot of blood shown in this movie. How did you guys feel about that, considering that this was a My Hero movie?
They should have all the people who got hit by those beams should have been dead. That was too much plot armor for one movie. And now, granted, these are children.
What do you mean a lot of blood?
Like,
I guess
compared to the anime, there was like a lot of blood shown in this movie when they got hit and cut and stuff. Very compared is what you know.
I can say I did notice that.
I'd probably in that regard, then I'd probably say, is it something I probably want to see in the anime? Not necessarily, because sometimes too much blood can make it cheap. Really, I think when you do it, it should grab like attention. It should be important almost. And I feel like if they did it all the time in the anime, it would kind of cheapen it. Because I think the reason it stood out in the movies because it barely happens in the show.
See,
or the fact that it's a movie.
Yeah.
Oh, that.
Yeah.
But I'll say this, like I guess that's an interesting point that you brought up, because when I was watching the movie, I wasn't like, wow, they're showing more blood than they usually do. And it could be that I'm just used to seeing blood in cartoons, that I didn't, it didn't faze me that My Hero was putting more blood in the movie that they did in the anime. I didn't make that connect. But what I would say is that I didn't mind the blood versus in the anime. Like, first starting My Hero, every third episode, Deku bones broken and you got his arms and flipping and his leg turned a different way. Or the scene that you brought up when they were at the little camp thing and he punched that guy and like all this got effed up and you actually saw it. Like, what draws the line between seeing like muscles contract and all that type of stuff versus what we saw in the movie?
Correct.
I will argue, kind of piggybacking off of Portia. It wasn't that significant to where it made much of a difference. Like I didn't get a different feel. Like this wasn't on the level of a Kame Got Kill or Berserk or nothing in terms of goriness. Like it was like, yeah, we're gonna
Yeah.
throw a little bit of
Now, if they would
blood
have cut
splatter.
off somebody's head, I would have been like, "Whoa, we ain't never did nothing like that before."
If anything, I would like it. I would like it even more then.
Definitely could have happened during the Bakugo fight.
Yeah.
It definitely could have happened, but I don't think they did anything that was alarming.
Correct. No, I'm not saying.
Really
Yeah, I'm not
stepped out the
necessarily
box.
saying with this question, that it's alarm or anything. It's just like just compared to the anime, this was just a little bit more blood that is normally shown inside the anime. That's all.
I'll still say it wasn't too significant to where it gave me a different feel. Like I still stand by my original point. It felt like more My Hero.
Okay.
More My Hero.
I mean,
I
agree.
I guess I could give it to
him.
him. I guess I would give it to him because My Hero seems more. They do have their serious moments, but it's one to me. It's more one of those light-hearted, colorful type animes.
Okay.
That sometimes you see blood, but it doesn't take too much away.
Correct.
Like kind of sort of like a family-friendly type anime. So if you were to go and you start seeing all of this blood, now it's giving you a whole different impression of My Hero. So I can see it from that point of view.
Okay. Got anything, Ralph?
I just want to say, in reality, in a lot of those scenes, Bakugo should have died, honestly. As many times that he got hit with those, I guess, chain
Blades.
Yeah, blades. He should have been dead. Todoroki should have been dead. If we being
Ralph said it
really
wasn't gory
honest,
enough.
that that the fight between Deku and Reflecto, I think his name is, or something like that.
Flick.
The blue,
Fleck.
yeah, Reflector.
Turn, I think. Blue Man Group.
We
Blue
finna
Man
dub
Group.
Blue Man.
Blue Man Group.
Everybody should have actually been dead, because ain't no way they spent 4 minutes and that fight was like maybe 15 it felt like, or about 10, and they only had like 4 minutes to fight. So you tell me all that happened in a 4 minute span, and you telling me
that's a lot, though.
That's
Yeah.
a regular.
4 minutes is a lot.
It is a lot, but that's a
For
regular
sure.
anime trope anyway.
You
so.
sit
For a fight.
You sit down after this call and stare at the clock for 4 minutes and tell me you don't know this time. I'm just slow.
You
I'm
said-
talking about
you said this is a
I'm
lot
talking
of-
about a high intense battle.
Do you not remember?
4 minutes?
Do you not remember how long Goku?
I'll be like, kill me at 1.5.
Do you not remember how long Goku charged up Spirit Bomb?
yeah.
Do you not remember them
That's
20 to 40 ass
that's-
episodes?
Let's not talk about that. Let's talk about how the planet was supposed to get destroyed in 3 minutes, and it took
That's
15
Ralph,
episodes.
you
Yeah,
go back
that-
and watch that anime. Do you not remember when Gon and all them were running past their staircase against that
I
one
was just
bug,
about to bring that up.
and that lasted for
That
10
was 3
episodes, and everybody had
for
a
them to get
mental
around that stealth.
flashback? Oh, and in 0.52 seconds, everything just flat. Come on now, 4 minutes is a long time in anime.
It is.
It's a long
It
time.
might
That's
as
a
well be 2
long
hours
time.
in anime. Goddamn.
For real.
Now
Okay.
They gonna make it shake.
the
We gonna see 2 minutes of fight scenes. Only 30 seconds has passed. I'm like,
There you go. There you go.
you gotta be kidding me.
All right. Maybe you have anything about the blood in the movie, McMillian?
I don't know, like I just said before, I think if anything, it might have grabbed my attention a little bit more, but it didn't take away from how I normally perceive My Hero. It's just like, oh, all right,
Okay.
cool.
All
You know.
right. Well, that being said, I got 2 last topics, so we can go ahead and wrap this up and get to the rating of the movie. So the action in this movie, from this movie, is this some like the type of action that was in it? Do you want to see more of this in the anime, or do you think they're doing a good job as is in the anime?
Can I go first?
I do.
Yeah, you can go first, man.
Yes. I don't think it's good. I don't know if it's because they're a small studio or something like that, but I don't think it's good to have such a drastic change in quality in terms of your fights from your main series and the fights to the things that don't even, that aren't even canonical to the story. I feel like you're doing a disservice by your series to do that. Because what's a good example? Demon Slayer Amazing animation, both sides.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think a lot of people appreciate stuff like that. I think you have to give attention to both if you really want to stand out.
Okay. Fubi, you look like you had something to say?
I wanted to say yes. I want to see more of it in the anime, and I also wanted to bring up that, going to McMillian's point, this was a drastic change from the past couple episodes that we've seen in the anime. And I also want to say that the episodes that we watched were really slow for us to get to the movie and them to pop off like this. It's like the bomb was ticking, it got stuck, and then it just spontaneously blew up. Is what it felt like. Mm-hmm. Like, I really feel like this grabbed my attention for My Hero.
Okay.
As far as, like, Deku and the gang go. Like, I did enjoy the myheroacademia arc, but as far as Deku and everything that they had been doing, and then jumping to this movie, I feel like it's a complete 180 from what we've just seen to what we just saw in this movie.
Yeah.
And I would have to agree with McMillian that it's a disservice. Like, you had me watch all these episodes. It's like, we know what you can do.
Correct.
Why aren't you putting it in the anime?
Yeah.
Why do we have to wait to get to the movie for y'all to show y'all ass?
And I'm glad you brought up My Villain Academia, because I'm going to go ahead and touch on this right quick. So yes, me personally, I do want to see more of this in the anime itself, and I think My Villain Academia is that step in the right direction to seeing more action like we saw in the movie, in my opinion.
I would agree, and most, like, agreeing with Portia and I gotta go by y'all's new names, make it code names. McMillian, I'd be fucking up, but I'll say that the reason I would want them to do so is because when you watch a series like this, like My Hero is no longer a new series. Like, it's been ongoing for a while. I want to see them develop their artistry. I want them to develop and make their action scenes look better, because when we've seen that happen in other series, it makes you more attached and more enjoyable, i.e. Black Clover. I know, Alex, I hounded you about that. I was like, the art for Black Clover was trash. Their scenes were trash until that whole fairy arc, not the witch's art, the witch mother, whatever. But to see My Hero do so good in this movie, and it's like, can we at least get half of that? Can we get a crumb of that action, them action scenes in the series? It will probably make me more invested. I can honestly say, since Portia Foop brought up the actual series itself, and on in comparison to the movie, this past arc, this past full season, I kind of wasn't that into it. This was the first time where I fell off with a My Hero season, to where, like, once it ended, I was like, oh, I'm 3 episodes behind. Let me go on and binge them out really quickly. And those are slick the best episodes.
Okay.
Didn't even know it until I watched them.
Okay. Ralph, what you got for me?
I would have to say yes. With me being still, I think, 14 episodes into the last season, it definitely has felt kind of flat compared to the previous seasons anyway. Like, it feel like everything is slowed down, and I would hope they are doing that on purpose to, kind of take a break from the action and get to know different characters. And they're bringing Ari back into the scene. We're watching her grow up. We're watching her make more connections with the entire UA school, pretty much.
Yeah.
And it's nice to see, except I kind of miss that action packed episodes of fights.
I agree. Well, all right. Well, on to my last question that I have for you guys. This is something that I just had to know. Deku 100% one for all. When you guys seen that, how did it make you feel?
In this movie, wait.
In the movie.
Yeah, he did.
He did 100% one for all?
Yeah.
Yes.
That was 100%. I know he said, like, United States of Smash. I thought he was just naming it that because he wanted to.
No,
I thought he was just yelling.
So whoa, hold on, pause. So you mean to tell me y'all miss him going 100%? Did y'all not see the man hair color change?
Did he even go
100%
when
Ari?
Yeah, he did.
When his hair go blue, that is when he goes 100%.
Ari was on his back when she was helping.
Yes.
Why he didn't say 100?
He didn't say it, but
That was
he didn't say it, but he
Yeah,
did it.
Are you sure?
He didn't call out.
Is that confirmed?
That is confirmed. Yes, 100% because they did the same animation style they did in the fight Deku versus Overall. Thank you.
I don't want to say it's 100% because I don't even think Deku has really done 100% yet. Because if you remember in the fight, well, except probably when Eri was on his
That's
back.
what I was asking. Was he at 100% then?
Yeah, supposedly. But the thing is, there's also a caveat that says Deku probably has never actually hit 100%. Just what he feels is 100% of the time. Because he, when he was fighting the muscle dude, he claimed he went 1,000%. All for one, and then they came back and said what you actually did was not that. So Deku probably at the time might have been touching what he believed was 100%, but that probably wasn't actually it. No one has seen the true full power of One for All yet.
You don't know what's crazy.
Okay, I mean, I'll give you that, but that was the form. That was the form, 100%.
But I'm gonna say, because I'm not sure, I'm gonna say his enhanced form. How I felt about it. I just feel like if they keep doing it, if that was 100%, which I hope it wasn't, because the thing is, if they keep doing it like this, it's gonna feel cheap, and that's basically it.
Yeah.
Did I like the fight? It looked cool, yes, but if they keep using you can't keep throwing that statement out and expecting it to be like shocking every time, because then I'm not gonna believe it.
And what's funny, Alex, I feel like we answered your question because you said, "How do we feel about it?"
Yeah,
and
if this is how you feel about it, you answer my question.
No, like we answered your question. We said,
no, this is fine.
I think. So here was my thing. When I was watching him, charge up, do his big speeches, like it's getting really intense. I honestly thought the man was finna pull out another quirk, and I was like, if this is the moment. This can be the moment. Yeah, mm-hmm. If he gonna pull out another One for All quirk, do it. Let's go. Because then that would have went back to Ralph's thing about him just using his one power the whole time. It could have just been that he finna get another one. Mm-hmm. And then when he did go into the blue hair, power mode, I didn't feel like, oh, this is 100% One for All. I just felt like, it's Deku just being overcharged and punching him.
Yep.
So if this is 100% Deku, I'm saying I'm not impressed.
Paul. I know we all seen the Deku versus Overhaul fight, right?
Yeah.
Okay, no, I'm just saying because y'all not sure if it is. It's literally the same style, same animations they did from that fight.
I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm saying that I don't, based on the source material, the electricity and stuff like that pops off anytime he charges up.
No, correct. I don't, but his hair only turned blue that one time he went 100%. It's the same thing when he did it in the second movie.
We ain't gonna talk about the second movie.
But
no, that's not a good
comparison. He was being blood brothers with Bakugo. Look, but I don't know. I would say this: his fight against Overhaul, because this is the fight where he had old baby on his shoulder, right?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Why did I don't feel like I'm gonna ask the question: why is that your comparison when he had a handicap?
Yeah,
that's also true. And then two, if we're going to bring up the second movie, which I don't want to, but you did it when he fought. Oh boy, that was basically mini all for one. That was ridiculous. That was insane. So if this is 100%, Flex should be a stain on the sidewalk. This is like that should not have been a problem. Is my thing. So that's why I'm like, I don't know if I can accurately say that was 100%. I just think that might have been an enhanced state. But I mean,
if that was
I'm gonna have to go back and look.
If that was
100%, they got the same power balancers that wrote Fairy Tail on My Hero. If that was 100%, that's some Natsu came back and burned down a whole stadium just to come back, and he can barely punch somebody with some fire. That's
as much as I love. to shit talk fairy tale right now. This is not what this is for right now.
I don't know, Alice. I wasn't impressed.
Okay.
I wasn't.
I
guess I'm not impressed coming from the fact that he has multiple quirks now.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I would have rather him just pulled out another quirk instead of
him doing
this.
So you would have rather him pull out another quirk in the movie first rather than the anime first?
They did that in the last movie. We didn't see them air balls until the we didn't see them air
Well,
balls.
be that as it may.
Well, they did. I agree with Ryan. They did something. They did it in the last movie. We didn't know that they could be blood brothers, and Bakugo could instantly get one for all.
I'm still thinking I think that's movie only. I
think
hope.
But even the air balls, they showed that before it showed up in the series.
But I guess I'm just saying when he got Black Whip, it wasn't that dramatic. When he got it, it was like, okay, he has another quirk. But like this was so intense, like the way that he was charging up, the way that, he was really feeling himself. I was like, this could be the moment where he pulls out another quirk. And it's like, okay, that's the movie. He pulled it out in an intense moment of like fighting and confrontation. Then it could have just went into the series of how does he handle this new quirk now that he's not in this high pressure, high intense situation. And how does that tie in with his whole thing with connecting with all of the other previous one-for-alls? It could have just been a catalyst type thing.
Yeah, I was say it could have just been a flash, and he couldn't even notice it or something like that. Like they've done stuff like that before.
Correct.
That would have grabbed me more than what this was.
Mm-hmm. I would have to say during that like last couple seconds of him actually powering up and everything, I was more so paying attention to his fists because he was showing different powers through his fists at every punch he made as well. Because in one instance I saw Black Whip, then I saw like a flame fist, and I was seeing a different form, and I'm like, is he every punch? Yeah, like every punch, it was a different color.
I think that was visual effect though. Yeah. But yeah, I see. I know. What
like I was kind of skeptical of, is that like his different powers, seeping out?
Instead of if it was like 100%.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They basically just copy and pasted that one scene from the original intro. Well, the first art intro where All Might was punching that no move real fast, and they pasted it in this movie. He was going in though. I'll give him that, but I don't know. I don't feel like that's 100%. The fact that the story continues on after this, I don't think this is the point where he is 100%.
Well,
may have been 25.
It wasn't no 25 because his normal 20 is just him regularly all electrified and stuff. You know what? It's all right. I'm going to down this hill by myself. It was 100%.
I don't know if y'all heard me. I said Alex don't like our answers. I saw it.
Your answers are fine because they're your genuine answers. That's what I want. So it's fine. Right. I just don't agree with it. But I wanted you to give your genuine answer.
He said you're wrong, but I'm glad it's genuine.
Hey, I don't have to agree with it, but it is what it is. So, all right. Well, with that being said, we go move on to the part everybody been waiting for, the rating. So, on a scale of 1 through 10, what do you guys give this movie?
I might be the lowest, but I don't know. I damn near gotta say, here's the thing: 5 or 5.5. But when I say 5, people get a negative connotation. 5 is dead in the middle average. If I'm comparing it to the series, I'm comparing it to the last movie. For me, didn't feel like much different was done. Did they add more action scenes? Yeah, not more action scenes. Did they do the combat a little bit better? Yeah, which is why I'll say possibly 5.5, but not enough to make me go 6. High average, damn near above average. In comparison to the series, in comparison to the last movie, I would arguably say the last movie was better just because I enjoyed the Chimera character, for me personally. But for me, average, 5.
Okay.
I I would have to say after talking with you guys about everything and how everybody feels, I would have to say six, mainly because I felt like they tried to go the same route as what Demon Slayer tried to go in making a movie. I feel like this movie could have been more so a premiere kind of thing, a 1 hour kind of episode instead of it being a full-fledged movie. I would have probably appreciated it more of it being a longer episode.
That's a hot take right there.
So is it canon? That's my quick
That's
question. Is it?
It's not canon.
It's not
It's not
canon,
canon.
except
It's,
I would that's what it felt like to me. It didn't feel like a standout movie
correct.
to
Well, no,
me.
it's not canon, but I guess you could say like where it technically takes place in the anime wise, it
Hmm.
takes place during their work studies.
Yeah,
But it's not canon though.
yeah, yeah. That's just how I feel, you know.
Okay.
Okay. Vote.
Okay. I'm still on Ralph thing and him comparing it to the Demon Slayer movie because
Oh,
that's a
Th-
whole
that's
That's
a whole
that's-
different ball game.
Yeah.
That's
that's a whole separate conversation.
No.
You're already
But,
going through the struggles of my hero, not my hero, Demon Slayer, the
Like-
movie now.
yeah, but I originally said an 8 because I really liked the movie. I
Okay.
did. But after the discussion, I'm gonna have to drop it down to a 7. When we really got into talking about like the ending fights and like how everybody just survived off plot armor, the whole Deku thing, I just feel like my 7 is the animation was fire. Like this was top notch animation. They made me care about people. They made me care about the resolution of the problem. It's just the way they went about executing the ending. I don't particularly like.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that's my 7.
I guess I'll go next. I'll let you go last, Million. I'm gonna have to go ahead and hard agree with Portia / Food. I give it a 7. I think they did a good job of coming and telling the story that they wanted to tell. The terrorist group, as we already talked about, there was a believable group. They had a goal that they wanted to set out. I think their goal was actually somewhat believable as well because they wanted to get rid of all the people with quirks and stuff like that, as well as the animation. But where same as Swoop for me as well, where it fell short for me was the end. The climax are important for me for movies, and this climax, the whole ending climax, just from beginning when the whole first final battle started, it just really wasn't all that in my opinion. So though it was good, like Bakugo had the best fight probably out of all 3 of them, and I wasn't even expecting that. So yeah, just 7.
All right. So I'm somewhere in the middle. My rating is 6.5, and I'll break down why. While everything else surrounding the stuff I'm about to say, I felt like was very generic. Almost to the point where I would give it a 5, but I think in certain areas it shined was this animation. They definitely popped off on it. Fope already said it. Alex touched on it. They definitely did their thing when it came to the fights and My Spider Academia. There's just a very impressive display. But I think another reason why I want to give it a 6 is Rhodey Soul. When I go to watch a film, or when I go watch or when I watch anything, I want to care about the people in it. And for him being a movie only side character, I actually did find myself caring about Rhodey and his struggles. Even though I knew by the end of this movie he wouldn't be in the series anymore, the fact that, and with that caveat, I still cared about it. And I think that's hard to pull off, and they did a good job at that. So I have to give it a 6 because I did care about at least one of the main central plots, and the movie was very good to look at. Like, it touched on it. Everything else, if it wasn't for those 2 things, it'd probably be a 5. It'd maybe be average, but 6.5 is probably where I got it, like middle of the road type thing.
Okay. Well, looks like we got a average score of around 6. So for in all, we give the movie a 6 average score, 6 out of 10. And with that being said, I want to thank you guys for joining us today here and being our first guest on the podcast as well. very much appreciated. And Emil, you can go ahead and sign us off.
All right, guys. So the meeting is adjourned. This is our first special episode. Thank you all for coming and watching, and thank you all to my guest council members for coming out and supporting us. So yeah, meeting adjourned, everybody. We'll see you next time. Peace.
僕の上を空を上に通り過ぎていたの飛行機を不思議なくらいに覚えてる意味もないのになぜか無害になって泣いた日のようにただ強くなりたいと願ってたそのために必要な勇気を探し求めていた残酷な運命が定まってるとしてそれ